Okay, Tuesday, 5th of August 2025. So, Adrian's daily vlog, sharing smart stuff men should know. Micro signal warfare. Micro, macro, and meso in the middle of signal warfare. Everything's a proxy. I did a video about this months ago, talking fundamentally that everything's a proxy and kind of expansion of that and to build on that idea that every single thing we do and don't do, which I call omissive signals, everything we do, have, say, everything sends out a signal, information, a proxy that when triangulated, when pieced together, can help people understand us without ever having spoken or speaking to them. And that's powerful. Everything we do, the way we walk, talk, stand, what we wear, length of hair, types of glasses, what kinds of mugs, what kinds of things we have, surroundings, everything, belts, shoes, what other accessories, sends a signal of your values, a signal of what you find meaningful. And that itself is something I'm exploring elsewhere. Because by definition, you wouldn't have it. You wouldn't do X or Y or Z unless it had meaning for you, unless it meant something to you, unless I mentioned in another video, it was part of your cosmogony, meaning your identity and how people can sort you and categorize you by different archetypes, different personalities, mental shortcuts, let's say. So what was very interesting is that about a year ago, a year and a half, April, I was in Dublin and I was on an interesting date. And the woman said to me, the guy over there, oh, I'm not so sure about that guy over there. She's making chat. She was talking about him over there. And she came to an interesting conclusion without even speaking to the man. And she did it based on the shade of his jeans and the fact he was wearing a special kind of jumper that was quite common, no, quite famous in Ireland, the Isles of Arran, something like that, some woolen jumper. And she came to a conclusion. She put him in a box, ontologically speaking. She categorized him just on those two vectors, those two proxies, those two signals, jumper and shade of trousers. That was powerful because that shows in one way that women will look at absolute anything, no, everything, and draw conclusions on it. What kind of watch, what kind of shoes, what kind of height, and this and that, okay, the clothes, the collar, the beard, the length, millimeter, things like that. Even the kind of nails, how well groomed are they? Well, why not this, why not that? How much hair, and things like that. All these kind of things, because evolutionary speaking, they have to be very defensive. They have to size up the man. Is this man worthy? And then men have to be high value. I did a video about this with regards to alpha demonstrating values. Actually, it's the same video. Everything's a proxy. And we can go deeper to say the alpha delta difference between male and female. But she looked at these two signals of this man. Neither of us spoke to him. No idea who he was. Okay? And she came to a conclusion just on those two signals. And of course, he wore those because instinctively, by definition, we could say that he valued those things. They were meaningful to him. Unless, of course, we can go deeper to say, well, he was wearing it cynically. But that's unfalsifiable. We can't really know that. We need more data to be able to determine if it was intentional or not. Okay. So she came to a decision based on those little signals. Powerful. And then we can say, right, if she's thinking about that, of that man over there, what is she thinking about me? And then we can go deeper to say, well, what I don't have are those sending signals as well. I don't have a piercing, let's say. And then someone could say, well, he hasn't got that. He doesn't have this, so therefore that. Both are true. He has X, therefore Y. He doesn't have Z, therefore Y is more plausible. It's that at the intense granular level. Everything. Again, what we wear, what we don't wear. Everything. The micro level, the length of our nails. On the macro level, our vocabulary, the way we walk and talk and stand. And everything in the middle, the meso level. Our collar, the shade of shirt we're wearing, length of hair, countless things like that. So one, we have to be aware of these things because it could risk giving the false impression, false cosmogony, meaning how people categorize us in an archetypal level or even at a wider sense. Or in general, not being attuned to what's really important, what matters to us. Because we could be devil's advocate and say, like I said earlier, that guy could have been wearing that jumper cynically, but it counted against him in this particular woman's case, and it detracted from her view of him. The alpha delta was shifted more in her favor, so his position, the man's position in her eyes, was diminished because he was wearing a funny jumper. Oh, and we can go deeper with regards to the funny jumper to say it's not part of her culture, her frame, her background, her archetype, her life, even at a ritualistic level. It's not part of her world, culture, even to say. I did a video about this actually. Our culture's empty, or hollow, but that's a whole other conversation. There we are, culture. So everything we do sends a signal. That's powerful. And then we could say, how fine-tuned are our signals? Are we leveraging the signals? Do we know what signal we're sending? Are we really maximizing and capitalizing on these signals? Or are we too lackadaisical, too not taking it? Are we too indifferent? Oh, I wear a white shirt with a scruffy collar. Meh. But even that sends a signal. It's that mehness can be interpreted by someone thinking, why would they wear that in public? What is going on there? What does that tell you about their standards? What does that tell you about him? What does that say about their cosmogony, their character, their standards, their values, their value system? And I think it can be too optimized as well. So in that case, the bad collar is too lackadaisical, too lazy. And then we can go with the opposite end as well, over calibrated. Essentially wearing a three-piece suit and going to the wrong venue, going to a bar where it's more of a casual, relaxed setting. It's too much. It's too intense. Or even imagine going to a nightclub dressed as a Morris dancer. It's not calibrated. It's too intense. It's too unusual. Not in the context of the society and the culture. What is that? It's the wrong day, the wrong season, the wrong place. Where? Or wearing a three-piece suit to go to McDonald's. It's too intense. Too much. It's over-calibrated. It comes across as unusual, standoffish. What is this? Why? What was that? The signal doesn't gel well with people's expectations, so it breaks this the pattern. We would describe in NLP with regards to a pattern interrupt. What is that? And that leads to the isolation effect, which is anything that stands out and unusual, we remember more. Just how I remember having this very nice woolen poncho and this very nice leather hat, but I was in the wrong place, the right time, because the woolen poncho was good for the weather in the evening, but the wrong occasion. It didn't gel well, and it feels out of place. That, and could even say that was me conscious of the wrong signal, because it was in the wrong place at the wrong time. Powerful stuff. Everything's a proxy. And we could then say, are we calibrating the right kind of signal to send into the world to get the right cosmogony, the right classification, the correct categorization that we want people? But essentially, are we given the correct impression? Are we leading people to get the correct idea that we want them to? Or are you wearing a three-piece suit at McDonald's at 2 a.m? Doesn't work. But if you go to a Michelin star restaurant, you don't want to be wearing a shirt with a bad collar. You want to be wearing a three-piece suit because it gives the right signal, the right message across. Everything's a proxy, even down to our fingernail length. Someone out there is going to be looking at the fingernail length. Someone out there is going to be looking at what kind of shirt we're wearing. Is it linen or is it cotton or is it silk? People who are tuned to that. Just how that woman was attuned to what jumper he's wearing and the shade, the colour, the shade of his jeans. There is no limit to how micro it can be. Oh no, that's a slim fit jean. Oh no, that's something different. Things like that. Or hang on a minute, that jumper is a cross stitched Nile band wide pattern. Ooh, that's unusual. Why isn't he wearing a four piece 9-bar kind of stitching? That's a strange woolen pattern to have at this time of day. Exactly. Everything's a proxy. Are we calibrating correctly to get the idea across, to get the right cosmogony, archetype, category? Are we underutilizing it and we leaving money on the table, let's say, leaving rapport, attention, respect on the table by being not optimized enough? The white collar shirt with the scruffy collar at the Michelin star restaurant. And then we can go even deeper to say, if your frame, your character, your confidence, your frame, especially your gravity, your reputation is so intense, all these things can more than compensate in surplus a silly little inefficiency over here. So you can be wearing a scruffy collar, but if you've got immense social proof, you're able to pay $1,000 bill on a credit card like that, no questions asked. You get the best seat in the house. The waiter knows who you are. You get privileged access. You're in the VIP lounge. These things can far out compensate all the little small inefficiencies here. So in a deeper level, we can say that the micro-signal warfare is a weighted average. Again, all these amazing pros, social proof, VIP, credit card, $1,000, whatever, done. But, oh, you're wearing scruffy shoes. And then you can even go meta to say, oh, isn't he amazing, 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 amazing? But his shoes, no, I'm not going to text him again. That's possible. It's possible. But now we're going really deep, very recursive. But that's a whole other conversation. But let's go back a little bit and understand everything's a proxy. What signal are you sending in terms of business, women, relations, you name it, any situation and scenario, essentially with people, anything with people. And is it calibrated enough? Is that the end result you want? Is that the perception you want to give? Is that the cosmogony you want to give them, the category, the archetype? Yes, no, maybe. And that itself, that question, is something I'm looking into. A little thing I've coined and talking about and thinking of the great subjectivity of life, meaningfulism or meaningism, but that's a whole other conversation for the future. But micro-signal warfare, everything's a proxy. But otherwise, Adrian's daily vlog, sharing smart stuff men should know. Subscribe for more, and you will see me tomorrow.